Ba 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 baran.
Double
Ba
shot.
ba
Ba,
ba
ba, ba,
ba
ba,
baran.
ba,
Ba
Brian.
ba Streisand.
Oh, I don't know what you guys are doing.
We're the Phat Peeps.
Hey, peeps.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phat Peeps podcast with me, your host, Joey. I am one of the Phat Peeps. I'm here with the other Phat Peeps. We got PJ,
Hello.
Garrick,
Hola.
cameraman John.
Ni hao.
Wow.
And
Is
if
that
you're
Chinese?
What?
Are you going to answer, John?
I was
Wait,
just
what?
waiting for you to go ni hao bitches, but you didn't.
Oh.
Now I'm disappointed.
Well, I thought we were doing like every language, like English, we had Spanish, and we have Chinese. Yeah.
That's not every language.
Oh, some languages. I mean, we don't have that many. A couple languages.
Go ahead.
Anyway, if you were unaware,
Anywho.
this is a podcast where we talk about gaming and other nerd culture, like movies and TV, and we.
Get
I don't even
derailed
go
in less than
on a
30
tangent
seconds.
right off the bat.
We already did. Too late. Let's just do it.
Streaming service shows, are those TV shows?
Like, yeah.
Shows. I mean, not.
Is this the
TV, but-
icebreaker?
I mean,
great
I guess-
question,
No,
Joey.
it's not the icebreaker
Oh.
question.
I guess technically
never
you can
mind.
watch them on TV, so yeah, why not?
It's
a
considered
show.
a series now.
Series, show. You
Yeah.
still call them shows.
So gaming, movies, and series.
Can we just say shows?
Yes.
Because it could be like a
Shows,
book series,
yes.
or like a
Fair.
We're considered episodes.
Sure.
I want to say.
I
Is
mean,
that what you're asking?
Episodic
It's still-
series.
Sure.
it still gets a message across, even though it's not like accurate calling
Yeah.
it a TV show.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know what that means. It's episodic. Yeah.
Epic.
I feel like there's a difference between just voice and like video though too. Like I was saying, our format would be more of an episode.
Yeah, but we don't watch it on TV.
Right. It doesn't matter. It's like
Oh.
it's still an episode. Was your point trying to get to like
I'm
what we're talking about on today's
confused.
episode?
No, I think that was a tangent.
No.
Oh, it was just a
We're just
legitimate
talking about the
question.
nature of like streaming services and whether or
Yeah.
not their content is called.
That was a
qualifies as
real
television.
tangent. I didn't realize you were going to dig that
Wow.
deep. Less than 2 minutes in.
PJ's
and you
brain's like
already got it.
trying his hardest to like.
I was like
figure
trying
out
to find
how
a
the puzzle
connection to
pieces fit.
something here. I'm like grabbing onto all the ledges possible as I'm falling.
Anyway, that's the type of quality discussion you're gonna
Oh
find
yeah.
on this
Yes.
podcast.
in case you're
Indeed.
new. Run
when
now.
We talk about different topics, but we always like to start our podcast off with the icebreaker question of the day,
Oh, wow. What is it?
Oh.
which usually has nothing to do with games or media or nerdy culture of any of
Ooh.
that sort. Today's icebreaker question I thought about last night when I was trying to go to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What do you guys do when you're trying to go to sleep?
Hard
What
drugs.
are your like techniques? Are you like go make yourself a glass of warm milk? Is that a thing?
No,
Go make
I
myself
get
a glass
gassy
of hard
and,
drugs.
Oh.
Yeah, no, like PJ wouldn't be able to do that. He's lactose
No.
intolerant.
Me too.
Oh no, I can drink milk. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, can you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
was
lactose
cheese.
intolerant. I just ignore it.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that works.
You just
can't
just clench it during
No,
the whole
just
night?
clench it.
No. I'm with
You can
PJ.
ignore it.
That's the best way to do it. If you just ignore it, eventually you're gonna build up a resistance to it, and you just won't be
Yep.
lactose intolerant anymore.
Oh.
I don't think
Oh,
it's necessarily
true.
that. It's just like, oh well, I fart, or oh well, the next morning is going to be a disaster piece. I just accept it.
Okay, so it's not really
Oh,
ignoring you, it's
wow.
accepting it.
Sure, but I don't have as bad of issues as like you. I don't know about you, but I know David, your brother, definitely is like the end of the world is coming when he has any dairy product.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have that. I'm not like, oh my god. The only thing that brings me to a point where like I am having World War III in the bathroom is Chipotle, and that's guaranteed.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
wow.
Bottle.
And it's
I
guaranteed
don't-
every time. So
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't had a glass of milk since like, I don't know, like as a wee lad, so I don't know
Oh,
what the
wow.
effects of. Like,
Well, I
the only
also
thing,
drink 2% now. I used to drink whole milk,
Oh,
and
okay.
that would hurt. But
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't really like
2%
the
far less of an issue
Yeah.
because of less fat content.
like
I
the
say-
super milky lactosey taste is like off-putting to me now. So I just can't drink straight up milk. But pizza is what gets me because I love pizza and I can't get away from the cheese that way. You know, so it's like,
Oh
I just
yeah,
I
toppers
just deal with
can
it,
destroy me too, depending on how much I
and
eat.
it destroys my poops.
So I was gonna ask PJ, did you like have a lot of dairy and milk based like things when you were a child? Because
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I read that like lactose intolerance is like gained.
Really?
Like you like get it by not having any dairy.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought you just
Well,
lose.
no.
well,
I
I-
don't
lose
know
the
if
I'm the-
that's
enzymes.
true. I think I just saw like a
I
study
counter
and, like,
that.
read the
I
abstract on it.
I counter that theory right away because I rarely drank milk because I didn't like it.
I
And
drank.
I don't
drank,
poop that much.
Yeah, I drank milk like crazy because I fell for the got milk commercials as a
Well, I
kid.
mean, I don't
Oh,
drink any
ugh,
milk. but
you
I eat a
sheep,
lot of-
John.
Yeah,
I eat a lot of like dairy based products.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not lactose intolerant.
No,
because-
I definitely it's the opposite for me. When I was a kid, I'd eat cheese quite often, and then I would drink a glass of milk almost every morning, every night. So like
Yeah.
I had a lot.
Same here. I had a lot of dairy.
John,
when I was a
I'm
kid.
curious. Since we're on the topic of pooping, who has the worst reaction, you or David?
I
To what?
don't know. I don't ask.
Oh, to dairy?
You guys never had
Never
that
crossed
conversation.
paths
Yeah, no.
after a poop?
It's not a competition.
I mean, it's
I have
definitely-
the worst poops.
We
'Cause
tie you
also-
both down and force warm milk down your
Yeah.
gullet. What's
Yeah, we
happening?
See, and compare
milk
poops.
board them.
Oh God! Then like
I mean, I
whoever
definitely,
just takes the worst shit in their pants.
Yeah, we definitely break out when we drink dairy stuff. I just care less because again, I don't drink milk, but I like cheese products or milk products. So it's like if I have to eat it, I'll deal with the consequences. You know, my face will break out a little bit.
It's worth it.
My poops.
Interesting.
It's a
get,
YOLO
very
mentality.
liquidy and it shotgun
I
blasts.
didn't,
You know.
I didn't realize you break
Oh,
out,
no.
but I guess it's
Mhm.
just because like I don't really
Yeah.
notice that.
Yeah,
I
and that's
mean,
the
you
main
don't-
reason
That's
why
Yeah, a lot
David
of dairy.
stopped eating like or drinking and eating dairy products in general because he's
Oh,
very
it's not
self-conscious
because of the
about that.
terrible poops.
I don't think so. Maybe it is, but that's
Oh.
like what he says. And I just love food so much that I don't really
I
care.
will definitely not eat a burrito at the beginning of an adventure with people. That would
Yeah.
be like a horrific thing for everybody. I will eat it at the end of a night when like we're going to dinner and I'm going home afterwards
Oh wow.
because I
Because
don't
you
want
do
to
it at the start. You're just setting
Oh,
yourself up.
yeah,
for
it's
failure right off
failure.
the bat.
Oh yeah, the rest of the day is going to be absolutely horrible. I'm not a public pooper, so I will not go poop in a public restroom unless if I'm like stuck to, which that would be like a Chipotle situation, and it's happened before at a Target, and that was just
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna-
no.
wait, you stuck at a Chipotle? What?
I was stranded at the
Did they clock
Chipotle
you in?
toilet. No, so I
Oh,
went.
no.
I think we went to a Target one time, or maybe it was Winco. I don't
Also,
remember.
guys,
It
this has
was-
nothing to do with
Yeah, no.
icebreaker topic.
I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow,
I
so
forgot.
I guess we'll go back to the
Finish your
icebreaker.
story by all means.
Oh
But I
well,
like
no, I
talking
was just saying I
about
went to a
poop.
Winco and I went in there and there was just like a homeless guy in the stall next to me and we both like were back and forth. It was like the Family Guy episode of the
Oh, yeah.
Toot Wars, where they're like playing
The
what's it, the
Hoot
banjo
duet.
thing. Yeah, the banjo duel song. I mean, not that on key, but yeah, I was literally back and forth like, and like there was a silent like I'm in this with you, brother, situation.
Oh wow.
We're holding
Like,
hands. You guys
we
like reach
both-
underneath the stalls.
Yeah,
and-
underneath
No,
the
you
stall,
both,
just
like-
grabbing hands like we're gonna make.
Well, they-
I just see like a whiskey bottle. He's like, "Oh, can you pass that back?" No, but seriously, like that was one of the most like profound moments in my life to be able to have such a moment with someone that's in a completely different portion of life, and
Aw.
it's like pooping brought us together.
Aw.
We're all human in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We all have
We all
violent
Everybody
shits
poops.
every
Everyone
once in a
poops.
while. in a Winco bathroom, nonetheless.
So is that your answer? Like pooping?
How-
Is that your
No,
Is that you're gonna say-
not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
That so help me go to sleep. I usually watch videos like on YouTube, and it has to be either a food video or like a low key talk show. The thing I used to fall asleep to when I was a kid was like old school sitcoms because the lighting is very dim and like the lighting in it was also very fluorescent, so it reminds me of very dimmed indoor home lights, and it was very
Right.
yellowish. I don't know how to explain it. Like if a show or a video has a very yellow lighting, it puts me to sleep. Just because I used to watch Roseanne a lot when I was falling asleep as a kid. Or
What?
what was
Okay.
that show called with Archie and
honeymooners?
no. I can't think of his name. Anyhow, it's just an older show. That was, and his wife was always like Archie. They're from like the East Coast, I think. But
Roseanne.
no, it was not Roseanne. But yes,
Uh,
Roseanne was one of the ones on the list. Anyhow, so the first option is TV shows, or shows in general, and then the secondary option is I do every once in a while take a little, like a half dose of melatonin.
Oh
I have
my
to-
god, you drug addict.
Oh God, excuse me. So like usually
drug.
it's two pills. I usually will just take like one if I need a little bit of help to sleep. Like I know I only have 5 hours and I need to sleep hard those 5 hours because my problem isn't falling asleep, it's staying asleep, and that's always been my issue. But if I'm exhausted, I'll knock out. Like tonight, I'll probably end up knocking out. But usually the night after I have a day off, I have a harder time falling asleep because I stay up late naturally, but I wake up early for work. So, long answer.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Next.
I used to. We had DirecTV. I guess we still have DirecTV, but like nobody really, like my parents still watch like regular TV. I think I have the box in my room, but I don't have it set up. But point is, they had like Sirius XM for a long time, or it might have. I don't know if it was Sirius, but they had like some satellite radio type
Right.
deal. So like a bunch of channels were just music. And I used to put those on because they were just like mostly a black screen with like the blue, like a
Oh
blue
yeah, the
box
bouncing
that
text.
had, and it would just move around the screen. So you got like a little bit of ambient light,
Right.
but like it was still mostly dark.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I grew up like I always had like cartoons and stuff on my TV a lot of the time.
Right.
Like I remember going to sleep with like Nickelodeon on a lot. What is the what's the show with the
Adult Swim.
no, not Adult Swim. I used that was more of a like middle school, high school
Oh.
thing. But
Tsunami.
the Nickelodeon
Uh,
show with
Nick
the,
at Night.
Can you let him finish the
that's the
the
sentence?
toys,
Toys.
the like
no.
action figures.
Action figures.
Oh,
Do you have
you're
any idea what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about like the one that has the different variety of shows, and they have like the
Yeah.
alien Prometheus and Bob or something like that.
Yeah,
You're talking about like the action.
that was always on when I was
I
going
think
to
it's called
sleep.
like Action Heroes or something like that. I know exactly what
That
you're
does
talking
not sound familiar. Huh.
about. I'll look it up.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Interesting.
continue. Sorry.
Anyway, yeah. Now I like usually have YouTube on because.
Wait, PJ. So did you have a TV in your bedroom as a kid?
Oh yeah, my whole life.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Wow.
How am I gonna play video games? I don't have a TV in my bedroom.
Oh, I did not allowed to
Kablam
play video
is what you're
games.
thinking of.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
Kablam.
thinking of. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Now I watch a lot. I put on like Dark Souls and Bloodborne lore videos
Nice.
because a lot of the time
Okay.
it's like stuff that I already know, but will usually have people talking in like nice accents, so it's
Oh,
kinda
wow.
peaceful. I don't know why. It seems like a lot of the like Bloodborne, like Souls lore community are like European or like Australian, or I don't know.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, so a combination of a soothing voice with
Wow.
something familiar that you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like
Makes sense.
it's proven that like things relax you like if you know it.
Yeah.
It's like people
I think
put
is it
on
a song or
movies.
something? Yeah, a movie. Yeah, it's a movie. That's the
Prometheus.
whole thing. Yeah.
The show that you're thinking of, Joey, is Action League Now.
Okay.
Action.
Yeah.
Now, never heard of that.
Yeah, I
one.
remember there was like the buff dude. That,
Yeah, and then the stretchy
and
guy, and then
yeah.
the chick that
The-
like got her top ripped off half the time or
Right,
something
right.
like that.
What?
and then
Wait,
there-
what? Nickelodeon?
And there was the
Yeah.
like sea diver dude.
The scuba
and
diver
he
that
always
jumped in the
and he always
toilet.
in the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the little dog.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
as a 9-year-old, that show was my jam.
It was I like looking back at it now. I remember all those episodes, and Kablam was really like rough for a kid. Like,
Like
as a
edgy,
kid, we didn't
right?
understand it, but yeah, it was super edgy. It was kind of like
And it
borderline
it's
Ren and
like-
Stimpy.
And it kind of makes sense, the like growth from that to Robot Chicken, because I watched a
That's true.
ton of Robot Chicken.
Well, and it's funny because I think Kablam was more generated towards a kid audience, whereas Robot Chicken definitely was more towards a teenage to young adult audience. So I think they noticed that more young adults were watching that than kids, which, to be honest, like Prometheus and Bob was kind of eerie because it was so uncanny. I don't know. That was
I
at
feel like
least
a lot
my
of
opinion on it.
Nickelodeon shows were like Ren and Stimpy and like Cat Dog. They were like very
Yeah.
grotesque.
Yeah, that's true. They were. I mean, Nickelodeon
was a
in the
different
90s
time.
wasn't general.
Yeah. I mean, even Rugrats with it's like very kind of gross looking.
The animation,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was very squiggly.
Which is, I think, which is why I don't think I really liked Nickelodeon as a
Squishy.
kid. I liked like Cartoon Networks and like the Hanna-Barbera
They were a lot cleaner.
cartoons. Yeah, much cleaner. Like
Well,
just
yeah.
less
but like
gross
you can
looking.
also argue like because Ed and Eddie had the same animation style as a lot of Nickelodeon.
Yeah, which I
shows.
didn't really like enjoy Ed
Oh,
and
really?
Eddie as a kid.
See,
either,
those were
yeah.
all my favorites. I love Nickelodeon and a lot
Yeah.
of and Dexter too was also a rough animation.
Dexter.
style.
Yeah, I like Dexter.
but
but
it was cleaner, but it
think-
was still
yeah.
rough. Wow, it's just going back.
All right,
all
what
the
else are
way.
you guys doing to go to sleep?
I'm
We're
waiting
still
for
on.
probably the number one answer
Derek?
on like Reddit.
Derek?
Who hasn't answered yet? I thought.
Oh, so usually I just keep my eyes open.
That's so weird.
Wow.
Keep your eyes open,
Stare at the
and
ceiling.
eventually, just stare at the ceiling, stare at the side of the bed, or
Exactly.
and eventually you're gonna get tired of keeping your eyes open. I do like. I mean, I don't really use it to fall asleep. I do watch videos, but I just find myself falling asleep to them. Like I don't watch them to fall asleep. If I do fall asleep watching a video, I will usually in the morning or like later on the next day I'll rewatch the video.
Yeah,
make sure
that's
I
what I
watch
do
everything.
too. Especially if it's one that I care about. I'll look back in my history and be like, "Wow, I watched 5 videos while I was sleeping." But
Yeah.
then,
So
like, I'll look at the
yeah.
titles and I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of those.
Yeah.
Or
So
I'll
like the reason why
rewatch
I
it.
asked you was like, what if you had like a TV as a kid was because like I never had a television in my room as a kid. So it's like I wonder if that's a correlation where you have to have some sort of like stimuli to fall asleep. Like that's why I'm gonna ask Garrick, did you have a childhood TV bedroom or bedroom?
Oh,
in your-
great question, John.
Whatever
Indeed, I
bedroom.
did.
Just a bedroom full of TV.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Or
And
your
I
whole
had-
bedroom
TV,
itself
baby.
is a TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You live in a boob tube.
Boop tube.
I did. Yeah. I would watch when I was young, like whatever was on, just to kind of help me sleep. But I don't know. It wasn't really helpful, I guess, for me. Now these days, I typically do the same as John and just lie there and
Okay.
wait for me
So
to fall
my
asleep.
theory wasn't correct. Okay, never mind. I take it back.
What?
No
Well,
theories.
because when I was younger, actually, I would try to fall asleep without the TV, and I'd lay there for hours without the TV. I ended up learning to fall asleep with the TV on through my stepbrother when he was alive, because he would do it over at his house when I stayed over one night. Like he did it to the kids, and I was just like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And so I started doing it, and then now when I fall asleep, like I'll fall asleep to the with it on instead of trying to turn it off before I fall asleep, and then I'll wake up for a second, turn it off, and then go to sleep fully because I'm already like nodded off and ready to knock out. But
Yes.
I would turn it off and lay there for 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah, if I have
So-
to do something like that, like then I'll like wake up again. So it's like I can't have anything. Like if I forget to turn off the lights when I fall, like if I knock out and I wake up in the middle of the night and like, oh crap, I turned light, I'm awake. It sucks.
Oh, no.
It sucks.
Not
so
for me.
much.
I can fall back asleep pretty quickly
Yeah.
after that.
Oh wow.
Like I said before, my issue is staying asleep so I'm not breaking REM sleep.
Yeah.
It's not like long-term issues where I'm awake if I get up at all. Like I'll get up, go to the bathroom, and go lay back down and knock right out again.
Yeah.
But that's after years of doing that. I used to have the issues where I would wake up completely. But, you know, age and working kind of killed that.
Twerking.
Twerk it.
Twerk it.
Is
Twerk
that
it.
everybody?
Twist it.
Or did Garrick,
think
did you
so.
not specifically say what you said you just like, same thing as John, you just try to sleep, like get through it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the
It's like
most
the
part.
empty void.
Yeah, it's like if I can't go to sleep, then I can't go to sleep. I'm just gonna be a groggy boy the next morning, you know.
Yeah.
Just
And then
the way things are.
the positive side is that I'll be tired for the next
Yeah,
night.
that's the best thing.
So-
If I can't get sleep one night, the next night I'm
'Cause-
going to get the best sleep of my life.
Yeah, because I'm always fine. Like I can like I'm just gonna own it and just say I'm good. Like, and it's my fault. But what can I do about it? Maybe I was thinking about something too much.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, or I just couldn't fall asleep because I don't know. But that's just how I handle it. It's easier that way, just to just push through and.
Well, I mean,
And it's also it's a balance of being like making sure my schedule's on. Like I have a schedule too, and try to keep with it. That helps me a lot,
Yeah.
and not to get too much sleep. If I get too much sleep, I'll have trouble sleeping too. So it's a little bit of everything. But yeah, I don't really have a trick to fall asleep. Essentially,
Yeah. I think it's less of like a trick. It's more like things that you try because nothing truly works 100% of the time.
yeah,
But
pretty
I think
much.
that's everybody. What's our
Wow. What about Steve? Steve, how do you fall asleep?
Who's
Good
Steve?
question, Steve.
Just move on.
news? Okay, what's the actual news here?
When we introduce this new character,
I don't know, man. I
He's-
don't even
he's-
have a
Who
voice
are
ready for
these
this.
people?
This
He's
is not
actually
prompt.
mute, so I don't know why we invited him. No,
Oh my God, Steve.
okay, let's move on to some actual topics here. Specifically, we're just gonna kind of hate on Sony for a little bit.
Ooh.
Not really,
Oh, okay.
but there's some things that are kind of bummers about the PlayStation 5. The first one being you can't back up your saves anymore using a USB drive.
What?
Oh
That
no.
makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
Wait, why not? What?
So, like on the PS4, you could plug in a USB hard drive or a USB stick
Right.
and back up all of your save data if you wanted to, which I did pretty frequently, right? Because I remember, I think specifically something happened to, I think it was Monster Hunter World saves, where basically it was just something that happened where it like deleted your character, right? And then the
Whoa.
nature of cloud saving, it would then like automatically upload that new save data and delete your character from the cloud save data. So I was like, okay, well, I can't rely on the cloud anymore for backing up my save data. I better like back things up on like a hard drive.
Yeah.
And you can't do that anymore, I guess. The speculation about it is that it's to
Cloud service.
cut down on save manipulation.
Okay.
So yeah, you could like pull PlayStation saves and then, you know,
Oh, like edit them on the
run
computer
them
and
through.
stuff.
Yeah, run them through cheat engines on the
Oh.
computer. You know, like I know it was big with like Borderlands. And
But once again, who cares? We go back to the same discussion. Who cares in a single player game?
Sony does.
but it does matter in some multiplayer games, right? So
Oh.
like
Some.
an example being Dark Souls and like all the souls, so like Demon Souls, right?
Oh, because
Those always had a big problem. There's no, it's no leaderboards, but it has multiplayer PvP. So
Oh,
people would take their characters, hack them, and then put them back into the game on the PlayStation.
this feels
and
like a
then go
lazy
beat up
fix.
players. Yeah, kind of.
It's like
for,
instead of
like,
fixing
not
the
having better-
individual games, it's just like, oh, let's just
Yeah.
sweep it. And it's like, no,
Mhm.
have the developers incorporate in their games something like that. Like this game shouldn't be able to do that.
I don't know. Would Sony be like, they do some sort of cloud saving service where it's like, $5.99 per month to save your games on the cloud, Sony Cloud.
I mean, that's kind of what it is anyhow. So
Kind of, yeah, basically with PlayStation Plus. I mean, that's not,
jeez.
you get a bunch of other things with PlayStation
Right.
Plus.
yeah,
Um,
they're
not,
trying to
you know,
beef up the
yeah.
service's worth, but they're forcing it on you at the same time. It's just like
I don't think I think this is literally just they're
A
worried
fix.
about save exploits.
No, I
Okay.
know. Well, it's both. I want to say it's definitely both because there's other ways around it, but isn't it kind of convenient that they decided to fix the quote unquote fix the problem by incorporating it in a paid situation?
Well, I mean, they've always had cloud saves.
Yeah, but they used to be
That's the
free,
thing, it's
weren't they
like-
not?
No, they've always been part of PlayStation Plus.
Oh.
Yeah,
Eh.
you've always had to pay for PlayStation Plus to have cloud saves.
Okay, so fine. I'll argue that.
So they're
against
not
that,
like
but-
changing the service; they're just taking away a feature that was there previously.
yeah, they're kind of
Yeah.
corralling you that
Which-
direction.
Yeah, yeah. To your point, they are directing you, making it so the only way that you can back the stuff up is to pay for the service if
Yeah.
you want to back up your save data.
I mean, that's why I'm saying it kind of feels a little bit too much like they're trying to put you in that direction because it's like, oh, why are you taking this away from all of us? Why can't they just incorporate it? Like I was saying, like I'm sure that's an argument that someone's brought up before, and then their argument is like, oh, well, you have this opportunity. It's only $6.99 a month or whatever the hell plus costs. I think it's cheaper than that actually, but to me that's dirty way of fixing the problem. I work in big business. I know they're shitty. So it is what it is. But and I've never had to do that, like do external saves on the PlayStation. So I can't argue with or against it. But
I guess
There's
the
better
point is
solutions.
just the option.
right.
The having the option taken away from you is why people are up in
Yeah.
arms.
That and
Yeah.
why for everything.
Yeah.
Like punishing the
It's
whole class because
interesting-
one kid talked.
It's interesting to see
Yeah.
the ebb and flow of the kind of nature of like save data because like so like if you think about it for a long time it was like allocated to the actual cartridge, right?
Right.
That the game was on. So like if something happened to that cartridge, like boom, that save data's gone. Right. And then it changed to like memory cards, which I don't remember if like I guess
for
did, like,
PlayStation, it's
PlayStation
always
2
been memory cards.
Well, but I mean, like, well, that's what I mean, right? When we moved to CD-ROMs, because CD-ROMs didn't actually like write data onto them, you had to save data somewhere else.
So the beginning of
Uh,
Sony has always been that way. It was Nintendo that started
but-
with cartridges only.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Let me finish my
Let
point.
him finish.
Golly, Peach is so
Jeez.
rude.
So with like memory cards, I don't remember if you could or not, but I don't remember it being like a thing people did very often. But like copying your save data to like back it up, like that wasn't really something people did, right? And then it was kind of not until like the like last generation, as we're moving into this new generation, that kind of the gap between consoles and PCs were being bridged a little bit more. So I think we are getting some of that, the ability to just like with things like video, you can just, save footage and then throw it onto a flash drive right off the console and stuff like that. And treating like save data the same way. Now Nintendo is not up with the times. Like Nintendo save data stuff is bonkers. Like finally they're just now announced that they're working in cloud saves just specifically for Animal Crossing.
Just
Right.
okay.
But like
Yeah, that's a good start. I
Pokemon,
guess.
your Pokemon save is just like saved to your console. And like if,
Oh, can I
if like
Pokemon
you
Home?
break your Switch or your Switch gets stolen, like that could be hundreds of hours of Pokemon save data
Mm-hmm.
gone. Right?
gone.
Because like Nintendo isn't up with the times when it comes to like housing or like allowing consumers to protect their save data, I guess is how I would put it.
Right.
Right. And again, I think a lot of the time it comes from this like fear of save data manipulation and cheating. Right. Like particularly the Pokemon, they're always so freaked out about people cheating. And it doesn't matter because it doesn't help. You can go on to Oak's Lab and just get any Pokemon that you want
Wait,
traded
what?
to you, like whatever. Yeah. Like they've never been able to quell the cheating of Pokemon, so they should just give up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
like-
we've kind of had this conversation about like exploits, I believe, and stuff, and it's like if it's too much to fix, why even just let them do what they do? It's almost like it was a conversation on cheating. Like people want to cheat for a reason, and if they want to cheat, just they're gonna cheat no matter what. They'll always find a way. So why fight it? Just go with the flow, essentially. I don't know. I honestly I agree. It's a waste of energy.
Yeah, but in terms of like the PlayStation 5 here, I think I think that the PlayStation 5 in terms of its feature set is a little bit less consumer friendly than the Xboxes purely because of like the nature of their lead. Right? They're allowed to rest on their laurels a little bit and can take a hit like this because they're like, well, people want to be on the PlayStation platform anyway, right? And especially with the kind of state of things, it's interesting going from the 360 and PS3 generation to this new generation, right? Because I was thinking about it the other day in terms of like weighing up the two new consoles, right? The new Xbox and the new PlayStation, thinking about which one would I get, right? Seeing these like kind of negative things about the PlayStation. Another one of which we'll get to in a second.
Roro.
And it's not really that big of a deal.
Okay.
But anyway, point is, thinking about it, I was like, there's no way that I would be able to jump over to the Xbox. And it's because I've been embedded in the PlayStation ecosystem for what, like 7 years at this point or whatever?
Holy
Which
cow.
means that I have that giant library of games that I bought on PSN, right? Which, if I get an Xbox, I lose that entire library of games. I mean, I don't lose them. I still have them on my PlayStation 4, but I don't take them with me,
Yeah.
right? And I really don't think we're going to see very much of a shift in this, like going forward in this generation, like shift in terms of the balance of which console's selling comparatively to the other, the ratio of the two, for that specific reason, right? If you're in on the Xbox, you're in on the Xbox now because all your
Right.
games are on the Xbox, right? And if you're in on the PlayStation, you're in on the PlayStation because your whole library is on the PlayStation. And there's like very little that I think they can really do to get people to jump ship. If anything, they can like bait people over and get them to buy both. But just getting people to make the switch, I think is like an incredibly difficult prospect at this point. But moving on to that other point that I mentioned earlier, Call of Duty Warzone on Xbox Series X runs at 120 FPS now
Oh wow.
Wow.
but not on the PlayStation 5.
Oh
Oh,
no.
jeez.
So yeah, a lot of games on the Series X have 120 FPS modes, and none of the backwards compatible games on the PlayStation 5 go above 60. It's just
I
everything's
thought.
hard locked at 60.
Okay, because I could have sworn that both the new Xbox and PlayStation have pretty similar specs.
It's
Right?
not the
They
Or...
fact
do.
that the
It's the
specs
nature
are
of
different. It's the backwards compatibility.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
the
Okay.
nature of the
Got
backwards
it.
compatibility is
Got
capped at
it.
60 FPS.
Okay.
So technically, they could, I think they could just do like a software update and change it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
as it stands
But
currently,
Well, is
Yeah.
Warzone? I didn't get that far into it. Is Xbox Series X running its own like version of Warzone as of yet? Like, has Activision or Infinity Ward put out that? Because what I was reading is the PlayStation 5 is playing PlayStation 4 version of Warzone, and that's the issue with that one. Whereas I feel like Infinity Ward pushed out an update that Warzone is actually playing on Xbox Series X version of it. That's what I'm guessing. So
the
theoretically,
story about the playing the PS4 version on the PS5,
yeah.
I read that as not everybody. I read that as like a potential, like, hey, when you downloaded, you might have downloaded the PS4 version instead of the PS5
so that's like
version.
one of their theories
Because-
as to why it's doing that.
Why it's doing what?
Like capping at 60. Like, is that their
No, it's capped at 60 regardless.
Okay.
You can't play Modern Warfare Warzone above 60 FPS on the PlayStation. If you're
Oof.
playing the PlayStation 5 version, it's running at like 4K 60 or whatever. And if you're playing the PS4 version, it's running at like up-res 4K 60.
That's
or
the only
whatever.
thing that would make sense to me, though, is the fact that it has to do with like the new version of the game for the new consoles versus like the current, or I guess last gen consoles. That would be the cap reason. The only thing I could think of, because it's just not capable of it. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think an iteration of the PlayStation 5 Warzone is out for Sony yet. Either Infinity Ward hasn't finished fixing it yet or making it, or Sony just hasn't pushed it through yet.
Honestly, I don't think that's an excuse because Sony had a deal with Call
Yeah.
of Duty for a long time
I was gonna
already.
say,
So
especially 'cause
why
they're
wouldn't they prioritize Sony in the first place?
It could have just been a software issue out like when they were pushing it out.
I think it's just Sony's choice.
Probably. Well, like the article points towards it as well, and I heard it before. They're trying so hard to push a spotlight on Black Ops, and since Black Ops is a much bigger release on Sony than it was on almost anywhere else, I feel like the Sony sales probably were much higher. So maybe their thought process for Sony and for Infinity Ward and Activision is, if we don't update it on the Sony, then people are going to be more apt to go get Black Ops because they're getting treated better at Black Ops.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Also, I can clarify. The case is on both consoles, they're both running the backwards compatibility version of the game.
That's
And the
interesting.
nature of the Xbox's backwards compatibility is that it can run things at 120. PlayStation's backwards compatibility caps at 60.
Oh, you know what? You're right, because they just released well, what is it? Ori and the Blind Forest at 120 for the new
Right.
Xbox One X. So you're that makes 100% sense. So it's not anyone's fault. It's
It's Sony being behind on their
right.
backwards
Microsoft was
compatibility.
ahead on their shit
Yeah.
before the next gen came out. So that was them. So props to them for being ready.
I think they had more priorities set on something else. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe it's just getting the consoles out instead of focusing on 120 just for one game. It really depends.
Well, it's not just for one game because it's like the backwards compatibility as a whole, right?
yeah.
So other games could potentially run at 120 as well, but they don't because of the backwards compatibility on Sony's end. But regardless, both of the consoles have been the largest launches for the brands ever.
Wow.
Okay, nice. Wow.
I've
Surprised.
Joey, are you getting a PS5?
I'm waiting on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I normally will wait a while before I pick up consoles because two reasons. Usually, A, they're incredibly difficult to get.
Indeed.
And will be like marked up and stuff like that. And it's, I don't care that much. And two, they usually will have the first batch usually has defects and stuff.
Yep.
And I usually want to wait until the manufacturing process gets stabilized before I pick up a console.
Great idea, Joey.
Isn't PlayStation 5 technically on their second batch though, because all the pre-orders had gotten bought up?
They might be now. I don't know.
I want to say they probably are. But whether they were able to fix anything because they didn't get the feedback from the initial.
Yeah, they still need it. Yeah, they still need
So
it.
it was probably still
that
considered the first batch. They just printed a bunch more, or made a bunch more.
Yeah.
So
The PlayStation printer.
The only reason
PlayStation,
why
yeah.
I asked is because I was curious about the haptic controller because my coworkers have been using the PS5 and they've been like it's hit and miss, but mostly hit for them, especially with Black Ops with the way the trigger pulls and the aiming works, and then even like on Spider-Man. There's like with the haptic triggers, it's just or the paddles, the web pulling, adding some tension and some resistance, it hits
that's kind of
different.
cool.
That's that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, by far the thing that I found the most interesting. Because like at the end of the day, both consoles are kind of just the same deal, right? And it's kind of comes
Just
down
more
to like their
powerful.
exclusives, right? But yeah, no, the DualShock. There's like multiple reasons that I like or I guess I should say the DualSense now. There's
Got it
multiple
right, Joey.
reasons
Call
why
it.
I like PlayStation's controller a lot more than Microsoft's controller. I don't need to go in and get into all of it, but
So you're
those
paying for
haptic
peripherals more so than the hardware itself.
Yeah, well,
of.
it's part of the system. It's not just a peripheral situation. It's
Well, no, but that's
part,
what makes the difference.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
okay.
influencing the experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like both systems are on a same power level. Maybe like I thought I read somewhere that the Xbox has slightly more power, but you can't just look at the specs because people don't realize like it's optimization and it's the developer's optimization of the console too that makes the difference, like loading screens and everything like that.
It's that's what I was fearing is like Joey said, we're just getting a more powerful console for the next generation, but the DualSense controller is what put it over the top as far as innovation goes. Like, because it's like how Microsoft has always been is selling their services, right? We've had this discussion. What does Sony have? A user experience with this new controller, and I think that is a defining factor between choosing between Sony or Microsoft.
Yeah, things like the way the trigger like breaks when you're firing guns, and
I'm
like
interested in that.
just like also I want to shout out to the touch pad that's still on the controller that is like
Shout
criminally
out.
underused.
Nice.
The touchpad, like, I don't want to go too deep into it, but the touchpad is great. and I
We
think it
already
gets a
discussed
bad
that.
rap. Yeah,
I
think it gets
remember we had
bad
a big
rap.
discussion. But see, that's the thing I fear too, because the touchpad is a great tool that should be used a lot. So I'm afraid that this haptic controller system will be underused by potential games.
I think with the haptic triggers, it's I think it's easier to kind of figure out a way to incorporate the haptic triggers into gameplay feel, right? Whereas, like, I think a lot of people or a lot of developers, and like, I'm not a developer, so I can't really speak for developers. I can only say what I think is like going on. But they see the touchpad and they kind of see that, like, it kind of works as like two buttons on the side, and they're like, all right, good enough. It works as like a select button, right? When it really should be taken advantage of because it's a touchpad, right? And there's so many ways that you can take advantage, particularly in like menuing and stuff like that, which is horrible on console games nowadays. And yeah, you're right. Like, you worry that the haptic triggers are going to become like a gimmick thing, and like they get used a lot right at the beginning of the generation, and then as we see like third party games come out, you don't really see as much of the haptic trigger use.
So Joey, with the touchpad, was it more utilized with exclusives and Sony? Yeah,
No.
Sony exclusives.
Well, to be fair, I don't play like the whole roster of Sony exclusives, but no, the games
Yeah.
that I've noticed with the best touchpad functionality tend to be third party games.
Oh, okay.
The two notable ones that come to my head are Minecraft. You can use it to manipulate the menu in Minecraft, which is fantastic. And in Grand Theft Auto, and I should check to see if there's anything you can do with it in Red Dead, but in Grand Theft Auto, you can use it to throw grenades.
Oh,
Like, if you're like shooting, because in Grand Theft Auto you have to like cycle to the grenade to pull it out and then like throw it and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation, you can just like with your regular gun out, swipe up on the D-pad, and your character will just lob a frag grenade out, or whatever like grenade they have in the grenade slot. And it's like that, those little things that enhance the gameplay
it's just like gestures
experience,
on a
the
phone.
fluidity. Yeah. Right, is like really the way that it should have been taken advantage of. And yeah, like things like I don't know, potentially like writing on it or like drawing on it.
I feel like there
like,
are
there's-
games that do that.
There
has
might
to
be a few games that do it.
It's very
but,
limited.
like-
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah, there's definitely like way more interesting technology packed in Sony's controller. And I think that games are better for it on their platform. So like, to Garrick's point, you are kind of like paying for a premium because the PlayStation is more expensive than the Xbox. I think anyway, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong
but
about that?
I think it's
Yeah.
$100 more.
It's like $100 more, yeah.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, so like I think you're paying for both the Sony exclusives, which they have a wider roster of first party studios, and you're paying for that controller, which is, like Garrick said, really gonna enhance the feeling of playing a lot of these games.
As long as the developers choose to use them.
Yeah, as long as the developers take advantage of it.
What?
I wish like there was a way to incentivize them. What is the incentive for these developers to try new technology when
Getting their
it's
name on
not
the map as a game that does
when
something
it's
different.
not? But the problem is the reason why it's you have to develop additional code for this one
Right.
platform only, right?
It's,
and
it's
that's
extra work
It's a risk.
specifically for one platform.
And
unless it's an exclusive, that's the only incentive.
well, no. Besides that, it's a risk that a indie company or a smaller company might want to take in order to get themselves noticed. Because they're not gonna like, if you put out a shooter in a world of Call of Duty and Battlefield, you're not gonna be seen very easily. But if you put out a shooter
Yeah.
with different, like, crazier control patterns due to the controller, or like a different experience because of a PlayStation controller, you're gonna get noticed. Even if it's small and it's a minute, like, kind of like a Fall Guys situation where you're popular for 2 months because of it. At least it's something, and you sell those copies. That would be
I
another
think-
scenario where I could see that happen.
I think what Garrick's getting at, though, is like, I think you're right, PJ, when you're talking about indies there, but like let's look at like EA for example, right? What incentive does EA have to have the team, the DICE team working on Battlefield, put in extra work to implement like touchpad gesture stuff specifically for PlayStation? Right?
Absolutely none. Like
None.
it doesn't.
So
it
it's
doesn't
like,
add to their experience or the money they're gonna make at all.
right, exactly. Which, at the end of the day, it might still add to the gameplay experience,
Right,
right?
but
Like I
they don't
said,
give a
like
shit about that.
GTA is on all of those platforms, but they still put in the work to add that little touch to the PlayStation 4 specifically. That might kind of be because Rockstar has kind of like a closer relationship with Sony and the PlayStation brand. But anyway, I digress. What do you guys think? Do you guys think you're gonna get a console? Do you care about these consoles as like PC players?
I
Easy
am
mess
just
race.
curious of the haptic controller.
Yeah, I
but
wanna try
don't
that.
think it. I don't think it's worth the $500, $600.
No, it would have to be
Now-
something way
Yet.
down the road when they get cheaper and
Yeah.
smaller, and it would
What-
just be strictly because I'm a collector.
Now, if they
The
can
com-
make the
convers-
PlayStation, no, if they can make the PlayStation controller, compatible with PC games,
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
I don't mind replacing my Xbox 360 controller. PlayStation,
Yes.
Sony,
Yeah,
nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
They might be. The DualShock 4 is.
Okay.
So,
But it doesn't do
Yeah,
everything.
but-
The touchpad
the
doesn't work
games
on it and
also
stuff
have
like
to,
that.
you know.
touchpad doesn't
Yeah,
work.
based on the platform though. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
because the question is, do games recognize that this is an Xbox controller or a PS4 controller on my PC, or is it just as a peripheral device?
This is the
general
Xbox.
peripheral?
It's in house.
I believe Steam notices the DualShock as a DualShock.
Okay.
And
Cool.
when you like plug in the DualShock, like when it, like in the bottom corner, it says DualShock 4 connected.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
and I've
like, it
seen
recognizes it's a
gameplay
DualShock.
for Warzone. Yeah, that confirms it reads the DualShock, but I just hope the haptic translates,
Yeah.
and I
Well-
would definitely eat up one of those
Yeah.
controllers.
Me too. Yeah, but I feel like it'll be an easy fix. Like you don't really have to have it programmed in the game. You can just have a driver that like kind of detects whatever inputs
True.
or outputs, and then have that kind of be the
Just have
in
an app
between,
that you download
know?
from Sony's shop or something
Well,
like
it's,
that.
yeah, just a driver. You know, it's like it's.
Be-
I don't
Yeah,
think it'll be
it's
that hard.
automatic.
Easy.
Well, yeah, I guess what John's getting at is the same solution, and like also Joey mentioned, is the same solution that like every PC recognizes the PS4 controller. So.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it doesn't matter what platform it is; it'll just say, "Okay, you're playing this game, and it's a Sony controller. Let's go haptic, y'all."
Yeah. Here's all the stuff.
I'll be
fun.
down. I'll be waiting.
Yeah. I'll wait.
I will probably get a PS5 at some point
Oh,
down
jeez.
the line, but that's because I play a lot of PS4, and I
Yeah.
have a lot of friends who play on the PS4. So,
Look at this
See,
guy.
the
Friends.
only thing
right.
The only thing that just like deters me is I have a perfectly good PS4 here that I barely use. I played Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
and then before that, really nothing. And like it would be a waste if I get a whole new console because I just do everything on PC already.
I have a
and
perfectly
it's
good PC
unfortunate.
here.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time on my PlayStation 4.
Oh wow.
So, the PlayStation 5 would definitely be a big improvement for a lot of games. And it's interesting
Now,
too, because like thinking about it, I'm not even really interested in picking up the PlayStation 5 to play PlayStation 5 games. It's just
Oh.
like the potential for the PlayStation 4 games I already have to run better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
that loading
Enough. Yeah.
is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
on the PS4 for Ghost of Tsushima, it takes so long. And then I'm playing
geez.
Assassin's Creed right now on PC, and it literally takes like 10 seconds tops.
Oh yeah, it was unreal when I went from, because I play a bunch of Monster Hunter on PS4 and I have Monster Hunter on my computer as well, running on an SSD, and like it's so fast you don't have time to read the tool tips.
Yeah,
Like I load
exactly.
into like Or like when you're in the lobby, normally on PlayStation, you like queue up for a hunt and it has to load up so you can like run around in the lobby and go do things really quick. On the PlayStation or on the PC, you hit like queue up for hunt and then just boom, hunt's ready to go. They're like, all right,
Yeah.
you hit to load in the hunt, and then it's like black screen and you're in.
It's just
it's
a
like, all
blink.
right.
Honestly,
Which is
we've
nice.
become so spoiled, but the downside is that console players never got to experience that
Oh.
until possibly with this generation.
Hopefully.
But yeah, those new consoles looking pretty hot.
Oh yeah.
Hard to get though. So
Yeah,
Indeed.
I don't think
It's
you're
a
gonna be,
holiday
they're gonna be
season to get
available till
one.
like easily available till mid next year.
yeah,
That's my guess.
or like
because of-
spring next year.
Possibly.
honestly,
I just
I-
think it's going
I-
to be on high demand because COVID, and especially if we have
Exactly.
a secondary shutdown, people are gonna order them like hotcakes.
I don't know how.
And a second
how,
stimulus package.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's going to be an easy like everyone's going to go drop half
Yeah.
of it on that.
I don't know how my coworkers got their hands on it, but they
probably
were
pre-ordered,
raving
like, 2
about it,
years ago.
and I think
Probably
so.
botted.
Because they were like
ran
worrying about like it getting delivered on time and stuff. They were so excited about the PS5. So
I can't like get on board with excitement for consoles anymore. But I guess as PC player, that's just how you are.
Yeah. That's the
'Cause
thing.
It's
It's
just
like,
I
yeah.
always have
like,
it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like once with PC, it's like there's no real like good like,
Yeah.
upside about getting maybe like the exclusives, but then I don't care about the exclusives. Like I can miss
PC
a bunch
Master
of
Race.
games anyways. Like I just
Right.
got a VR, and that was like a much because it's a whole different experience. Like a console and a
Yeah.
PC, the experience isn't much different, and you're getting a lesser experience in the console. But then like getting a VR headset, it's like that's a completely different way of playing games.
and
it's
the trend is sooner or later that exclusive will probably come out
Yeah.
for PC anyways,
Yeah.
and probably better.
Yeah.
Exhibit A, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
You just have to
I-
wait
I-
what
oh, yeah, I
2-3
wanna get that game.
years.
I think there is something to be said though about like generally speaking with a console game when you get it it's just gonna work.
Yeah, that's
And
the
like
thing.
that's
That's
not
true.
always the case on PC. There's a lot
Yeah.
of cases where like for whatever reason the game just doesn't work with your hardware or like doesn't
Yeah.
cooperate with it well or like and yeah, so for like a lay person the like console's definitely the way to go because it's like you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about
Buy-
stuff. You
plug
don't
it
have
It's
to
like the
troubleshoot
iPad.
anything.
It's like
Yeah.
the iPad of the tablet world.
But
Yeah, that's
you
true.
are
It's
definitely
finicky
right.
in that way.
You are definitely right in the case of like if you have a PC, these consoles don't really do anything for you for the most part.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of people had to pick up the PlayStation cuz like Demon Souls and stuff like that and like Miles Morales. But like for like especially the Xbox, like there's no reason to buy
Yeah,
yourself
right?
an Xbox if you have a PC because everything for the most part that Microsoft puts out on the Xbox exclusive is also going to end up on PC. So yeah, there's just like really no reason to buy any of that. And for the most part, like if you don't care about the Souls games and you don't care about Spider-Man, it's not really a reason to pick up a PlayStation either.
Yeah.
So and like personally, like in terms of like what I would buy first, like looking forward, I would buy myself a new gaming PC before I bought a PlayStation
Right,
5
I feel like
because there's more
consoles-
that I can do with it.
Yeah, consoles feel like they're more like the what you said, like the layman's, like kind of just the everyday person's kind of gaming device these days. You know, it's like back in the day, it's like, oh, you're a gamer if you have the Xbox or the PlayStation, but now it's just like, oh, it's the little cousins down the street, or you know, the mom has the PlayStation, but the true gamers, PC Master Race. Oh yeah.
Okay, you guys want to play a little name that game?
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm scared.
It's time for everyone's favorite game. Name that game. The game where you guess the game and the prize is nothing but bragging rights. With our host, Joey.
All right, we're playing Name That Game. the game show within a podcast where
Oh, wow.
I read the description of a character from a video game franchise, and then somebody buzzes in and has to name the franchise that the character is from, and also can name the character for a point. Generally speaking,
Whoa.
there's 2 points on the table.
Uh,
Sometimes 3 if I'm looking for like a specific game in a franchise. There might be a 3rd point on the table,
oh, jeez.
but not usually.
I'm scared.
Anyway, we got some great characters who I'm gonna read the descriptions of. These descriptions were taken from the Wikia pages for these various characters. So if you want to go read more about the character, go check out the Wikia pages, I suppose.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I just took the descriptions in the Wikias and modified them a little bit to take out names, like specific
Ooh.
recognizing factors. Anyway, are you guys ready to start?
We are.
Okay.
Okay. Kicking us off. This character was once a student at Aldrich in Philadelphia under a scholarship to become a filmmaker, but instead of attending classes, she spent her time watching horror films.
Ooh.
She got her love
Uh-huh.
for the film genre from her father, who introduced her to movies featuring zombies, slasher murderers, and extraterrestrials at a young age. Her
Wow.
father, Wade, wished for her to become a police officer like himself, often taking her to the shooting range to get her some practice.
Buzz.
These actions cause... Oh, DJ's buzzing in.
I'm gonna go out on a weird limb and say Zoe from Left 4 Dead.
2 points for PJ.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah!
Holy cow!
I don't know how I
Wow.
remembered that.
Cause she was your crush.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. I'm surprised.
Wait, they have backstory?
They do.
Yeah,
Very
they
much
do.
so. There was a
What?
comic
The
book
first-
that was released shortly
Oh, comic
afterwards that
book.
also went through their whole backstories for each one of the
Who
The
characters.
watches-
first Left 4 Dead
reads
were better
comic book?
developed characters.
They were. I love the original characters. But
Wait,
yeah.
wait. In game, or did you have to go outside?
No, it's
in-
external. They released it
Okay,
after Left
okay.
4 Dead 2 came out, and
That's
it was
dumb.
like a whole backstory
John,
for the original.
You gotta
characters.
remember,
That's
this is
John.
this is the olden days.
Olden days.
I was a nerd about Left 4 Dead. I loved it. Anyhow,
Okay, you guys ready to move on to character number 2?
I don't know, I felt
No.
cheated, but yeah, I'm moving on.
Maybe you just need to get good, John.
compared to last week where I literally got cheated, at least on one of
Mm-hmm.
them.
Hey, it's named that game, not named that graphic novel that's based off of.
No, it's also said in the game too.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't
Yes.
know that game.
Good.
Well,
Born
we
to
were
humble
busy.
farmers,
Uh-huh.
this
Go ahead.
character always sought to acquire riches and fame.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
He became a privateer for the Royal Navy early in his life, and once accepted, found himself stationed in the West Indies. However, an abrupt end to the War of Spanish Succession and the promise of gold, glory, and fame eventually seduced him into the life of piracy. It
Oh
was
no.
during this quest that the character first encountered the assassin and Templar orders.
Ah,
Garrett
damn it.
buzzed in.
Buzz. I don't know the name, but Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
What's his name?
You got the franchise. That's a point for Garrick.
What's his name? What's his name? What's his name?
I don't know the name.
What is it?
What century was this in? Can we get that as a clue? Or like you said, it was West Indies.
It's like the 1600s.
Back in the day.
Okay.
Dang it. I can't think of his name.
So the game itself is still up for grabs. He got the series.
No, he got the series and the game. I'm not giving him a point for the game.
Oh,
But he got
Black
the
Flag
series
was
and the-
the right. Okay, I didn't play
Yeah.
Black Flags. Black Flag.
Black Flag.
So yeah, I was thinking Jack Flags. I'm out
Not
of this one.
sponsored.
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Come on, John. You really like that game.
I know I never played back, but I know the characters. So,
Oh.
it's not right, but it's like Mason or something. It's not
I'll
right.
just
Incorrect.
I'll just take a guess. If no, never mind. I was gonna say Connor because I know Connor is in the American Revolution one, but that's 100 years later, so he's not even alive yet.
It's. Was that a guess?
No, I'm gonna retract my buzz. I don't know. I'll be happy.
Okay,
with
well,
my
I'm gonna
previous
move
answer.
on.
What's
The
the answer?
answer,
But it was his dad, right?
Is
It was Connor's dad.
Edward Kenway.
Yeah, Kenway.
It's
that's
actually-
it.
Oh.
It's actually Connor's grandfather.
Grandfather, right? Right, right, right,
Damn.
right.
Oh.
I was on the right track at least. I did not play that game.
Because
at
I
all, so
yeah,
couldn't
because I
guess.
kept thinking Connor. I was like trying to figure out Connor's last name.
I
couldn't-
totally
couldn't remember
forgot.
it.
That's so
Remember
long
Connor's last
ago,
name either.
though.
I had no interest in playing that game, so I'm not upset whatsoever.
Gee,
Edward
I'm upset.
Kenway.
So
one of the good
Garrett
ones.
got one.
Isn't that
Yeah,
a
Garrett got 1
piano?
point.
Okay.
Wow.
You know what? Give Garrick 2 points. 'Cause
Oh,
he named
wow.
two.
Wow.
what is this charity
I want a
case?
recount. Yeah, I want a recount. What is this?
No.
What is this
I'm a point
malarkey?
Not
czar. I
allowed.
get to dictate him how I please.
Unless you want to sue John.
Yeah, I'm gonna sue.
You can't
Take
play
you
Which
to
it.
the
district should I
small
sue?
claims court. Do.
What's
Are
the
you guys
next
ready to
question?
move
Yeah.
on to our curveball
Oh,
character
snap.
of the show?
You know what, Joey? It's starting to become winter. We should start calling it Snowball.
Oh,
No.
I don't get
It
it.
comes
Just
at you out of
putting it out
nowhere
there.
and then crashes all over your face.
Yeah.
That splat sound. Okay, we'll call it Snowball.
This character was born on the planet Queltiquan.
What?
The
It's hard to
Who?
pronounce.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna spell it out. KWELTIKWAN.
That's a lot of
Tactiquan.
W's.
Still doesn't help.
That's a lot of W's.
There,
Whoa.
he created a series of illegal genetic experiments, but
Mhm.
was eventually banished as a result. He then bought his own laboratory, where he continued to create more experiments alongside his former college friend, Dr. Hamsterville.
What?
What?
Oh,
TJ
wait,
is buzzing
Buzz.
in.
Damn it. It's like I should have waited 2 more seconds, but I knew John was about to buzz. Fuck. I know it's a Cartoon Network show.
Oh, cartoon. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. Fuck. I might have to bypass my buzz and give it to John because I'm not sure.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds.
Shit. I can't remember if it's like a superhero show or not. Just go ahead and give it to John. I'll try again later.
Try again later. You can't. Wait. Can't,
Well, I
can we
didn't
try
guess.
later?
He didn't
No,
guess,
it's wrong
technically.
already.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna retract my
Yeah.
buzz and get some little more information.
Okay, buzzes are retracted.
Oh, snap.
Where was I?
Hamsterville.
Yeah, Hamsterville. Managing a business called Jokes on You. Eventually, both would be
Hamster.
arrested following the creation of their latest experiment, 626.
Oh,
However,
Buzz.
PJ buzzed in.
Lilo and Stitch. And God, what the hell's his name? I know exactly who it is, but I can't think of his name. But I'm just gonna go with Lilo and Stitch. I'll take that point.
PJ gets a point for Lilo and Stitch. Would anybody like to name the character?
I don't remember. I have to watch that
What is his
movie.
name? Doctor. Oh, that's right.
It is Doctor. I will tell you that.
It is Doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I was
don't know.
thinking out loud.
I don't remember.
I know his assistant's name. If that gives me a half a point.
I
At
don't
least
know. Buzz, I'm
I know
guessing.
what we have to
Dr.
watch.
Van Strangle. I don't know.
I was thinking that
Ooh.
actually, but it's not that.
Dr. Van Strangle.
Nobody have an answer?
No, I just guessed.
It's
Dr.
not the
Van
right
Strangle.
answer.
Yeah.
I do
don't
not.
remember.
I have no inkling.
God, I wish I could remember.
It's gonna be
You're
so
looking
obvious too, isn't it?
For Dr. Jumba Jakiba.
I was
Oh, okay.
nowhere
Not
near.
obvious.
Jakiba.
Uh,
Yeah,
Jakiba.
okay. Now
Okay.
now it's ringing bell. I remember his assistant's name is Queegly
Yeah,
or Queegly.
Quigley.
I think Quigley.
I
Yeah,
think it's Quigley. Yeah.
And now I know what movie we have to watch again because it's been so long.
that is a good movie.
I
Okay.
love Lilo.
I
and
like that
Stitch.
question. That was
Such
a good one.
Yeah. That was good.
I
was gonna
don't.
do it
I don't remember.
for name that game.
I caught up finally.
The point totals, looking at 11 for PJ, 7 for
some of those
Garrett,
points seem like we got to recount those points and
and
PJ's
10
points.
for
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big lead.
God.
You're
Right
not gonna
there.
take away the 2 points that I actually like did really well. Okay, like come on.
I still have a big
remembered
lead
something
on you
very
and
like,
everyone else.
bizarre
So,
compared
Speaking
to
of
last
Lilo
week
and
where I
Stitch,
got
though.
robbed.
Rob, you would never rob.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch, do you guys know there's a live action Lilo and Stitch happening?
What
Nope.
a
I did.
segue,
That's
guys!
news
Oh my
to me.
god!
Not know that actually.
I saw
Was that
this
planned,
over
Joey?
on Collider. It's an article by Drew Taylor. You can go check out the whole article there. But yeah, the headline for it is director John M. Chu, who
Bless you.
directed Crazy Rich Asians.
It was okay.
Haven't heard about this movie. How about you? Sorry.
Okay, settle down there.
Whoa.
Anyway, live action
He's
Lilo
probably-
and Stitch is happening. I didn't know that was happening. Did you guys know that was happening?
Not at all.
I
That
did
seems
not.
crazy. That seems like a
But
bad
I'm-
idea.
No, I'm excited.
I mean, I
It's gonna be
E.T. E.T. worked, like Kid and the Alien.
They
you know?
and they pulled off a Sonic, so I
Sonic,
believe
yeah.
they can do it. And Pikachu.
Pikachu,
I
yeah,
believe.
you can make a fuzzy CG character really.
That's
really
true.
well
But
these
is
days.
his alien form gonna be like really creepy?
Is he gonna
Maybe.
be violent too? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Really
Disney,
gory.
so- Disney.
And it needs to be gory because
Is
it's
it-
Lilo
yeah,
and
it's Disney.
Stitch.
Nah, it's probably gonna be another one of those like live action remakes that are kind of disappointing and just kind of meh.
So
yeah.
How do you guys feel about those like Disney live action remakes?
Meh.
Because
Well,
to
if-
me,
Haven't watched any.
they are so lifeless.
Yeah,
I didn't watch any either, but the biggest like complaint that I've seen was for Lion King and how like there's this like some artists recreated how Simba should actually look, and I would actually watch it
Yeah.
like that with the big eyes, not going for realistic, but still the essence of the
Did they
Lion King.
recreate it before or after the movie came out?
wait.
After, because they were one of those people that were also
yeah.
not convinced by it being a good movie.
Well, the thing about
it lost its like essence.
Lion King remake is on paper it sounds really interesting. Like your Lion King recreated, but in like a nature documentary style, which is in concept really cool to see. Like these characters.
It's
play
a good
out.
idea on paper.
Yeah, on paper,
Right?
exactly.
But
yeah.
then when you actually do it
There's
and you
no
realize that
soul or
like,
spirit.
oh yeah, these characters can't emote
Also,
because
animals,
they look like
yeah.
actual tigers.
Actual
or
animals
lions
or
can't
whatever.
emote like humans, and that's what you're missing. That's what a cartoon can do. Is you can get these
Mhm.
And
over the top
yeah, going
reactions.
back and re-watching scenes from the Lion King animated film, the characters are so like full of movement.
Expressive.
Right? I think that's
Yeah.
they're so expressive.
Very
I think it's
expressive.
like a particular like it's emblematic of like Disney's animation style. But like Scar has so much going on
Right.
with just the way the character moves and
Right,
the way
yeah.
his face emotes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's completely lost
Yeah.
in the live action remake.
But it's like what
And-
emotion can you portray with a real life, like a mad
Exactly.
lion? It's like what can you do
There-
to make it look mad? It's
there
like,
needs to
the
be a-
snarls. That's pretty
There
much it,
needs
right?
to be a line to be blurred, essentially. So the reason why I pointed out Pikachu and Sonic is because they're great examples of
Well, yeah,
blurring the lines.
They embrace the
because
kind of cartoon.
they were able to place these animated CGI characters in the real world while making sure they have emotions and they can express themselves instead of going for the 100% realism that originally that the Sonic movie was going for,
Right.
and they realized that that's the wrong move and they learned right away instead of Disney just going not listening to anyone and actually just doing what they did.
Yeah.
That was a big
So-
mistake.
To that point, maybe that like Lilo and Stitch is already off to a better start.
Yeah, it's gonna be
because
easier for them.
the
Yeah.
character, they can do whatever they want with the character.
Exactly. We don't know
Right.
what
It's
what a
alien.
realistic
Right.
snitch alien looks
And-
like in real life.
And it's not
Which
a
kind of the case with
drama.
Pokemon.
yeah, exactly.
That's true.
It's not a drama. You're not trying
Right.
to capture the beauty of Africa or something and
Yeah.
capture the beauty of how realistic these it's at this point like the Lion King live action was more of like a mature play than it was for a kids movie turned live action.
It sounded like it had
And-
a confused identity. That was the
Mhm.
biggest issue with that the
Yeah.
Lion King remake, and then I won't even say Aladdin had that same issue. I feel like this one, since it's so set in imagination, that it has a better chance of fighting back that problem. But I don't know, the live
Yeah.
action's kind of, it's a phase that Disney's going through that will lead to the next like iteration that will be better. I feel like that's the first stride with every situation.
Yeah, exactly. They can
I
pull
don't-
it off. They just need to learn quicker.
It's weird because like I feel like what Disney as of late has been primarily noticed for is their animated stuff,
Mhm.
right? Like particularly I think about like Frozen,
Yeah.
right? And like I think if you made a live action Frozen, it would do incredibly well,
Mhm.
but it wouldn't be a better movie.
No.
And I think
Yeah.
that's usually the case here is that like the the ability for a animated feature to take you to like a different world,
Mhm.
I feel like is greater, and that you can do kind of more liberties with animated features in terms of like there's less, you don't have to work as hard to suspend your disbelief.
Right.
Right.
And it's like with these live action movies, not only do they end up feeling kind of lifeless and kind of dull, I think Aladdin's kind of boring.
Yeah, that's very
Um,
boring.
But
You know-
anyway, point is, I think that they end up just being like worse versions of themselves. So why don't they just continue to make animated stuff?
Yeah, what is their target audience? Like, I feel like this
Nostalgia.
is
Adults.
targeted towards adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's not what we're asking for.
No, but it's easy for them because it's like adults are going to go watch it and then their kids are going to get introduced to it and like, oh, actually, let me go show you the original version. And then they make another, it's almost kind of like a trap because
Let
what
me
they're
show you how
doing,
it really should be.
Right. Yeah. They're using the films which aren't that great and they're still spending a lot of money on them. It's not like they're making them bad purposefully, but they figure even if it fails, they're going to get a new generation of people because those adults that go and are displeased with the movie are going to be like, this isn't the original. This isn't right. This is how it should be done. You know?
I don't think so. I don't think that was their
That's not their
intent.
plan. I'm just saying there was no loss to them. And I feel like they
They
knew
wanted
that
to
from the
be
beginning.
successful no matter what.
Yeah.
They just didn't,
Because
their heart wasn't in the right place.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not saying that they did it on purpose, but there's no loss. There isn't at all. Because now they're also re-releasing the classics from the vault more consistently. So there's got to be a reason why they're doing that. They're noticing the trends. Like people are buying the classic movies again more often now. And then this isn't the first delve that they've been into for live action movies. I don't know if you guys remember, like, I think it was the end of the 90s or early 2000s. They did Dalmatians live action,
Yeah.
which actually did well.
True.
And it wasn't.
I really I like the live action Dalmatians movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I
don't
haven't
think
seen it
it's-
in a
I
long
agree.
time,
Yeah.
but
I want to say it's probably because that the original wasn't that far out of the realm of reality, and all they did is have talking dogs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Were they? Was it like a shot? It wasn't a shot for shot like cartoon to live action remake though. It was like I felt like it was a
No.
kind of a different story.
I think it's
Anyways,
its own type
yeah.
of deal.
It was, but it still succeeded in capturing the essence of it properly. And I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
that's the issue is they need to take the approach they did for that movie and write
Yeah.
a plot that captures the essence but fits what they're trying to present,
Well,
their
again,
medium.
they're
And
going
they're
for
not
like the
doing
whole
that.
nostalgia. It's like, oh, watch your childhood, but in real, real life now.
In magnificent
Um,
glory.
But
Yeah.
they did that with 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, but
really
the
did.
thing is,
Mm.
it's they didn't gut the characters in Dalmatians. They didn't. They kept the essence of it. They still want it. It was geared towards kids,
Yeah.
Right.
so there's a difference.
I don't know. I'm just saying they've done it before. It's just it's weird that now they're doing it again. It's just not working as well.
Like, imagine hiring, like, what's her name, Angelina Jolie, who her character of Maleficent, and placed her as Cruella de Vil. That would be so boring as hell, because it won't be as animated. You won't like that evil character. You just will hate her, right? There's a balance.
It depends how she acts it.
Yeah. I
It
think,
depends on the
I think she can
writing.
do it.
Yeah. There's been plenty of examples where they did it properly. Like
I mean, again, yeah, it's the
they're
story though.
they're trying too hard to, like you said, hit nostalgia more so than creating a compelling story that matches the medium they're going for, that hits the nostalgia bone just right while making it a good film still.
Yeah.
You shouldn't worry so much about that's the same thing as saying like, oh, an artist can recreate something word for word, but if their voice doesn't match it, it's not going to be as good. I'd rather hear someone sing something in their own tone or their own voice and make it beautiful on their own, but still hits you with the original concept.
Yeah. Make it the new artist. Yeah. Kinda
It's the
their
same
thing.
thing that we were talking about with what was the game that we talked about a couple weeks ago where they're recreating it in HD, where it's like
Mario?
Demon
No.
Souls.
Demon Souls,
Oh.
yeah. So they change the creatures. They're not one for one scaled. They're slightly changed to fit what they are now, like the graphics now. And but it still is reminiscent enough of the ones before.
Yeah.
It
Well, I mean, people
works
got
in that
pissed off, right,
sense.
Joe? It's like people got pissed off because they changed the original thing, which I think Disney's scared of doing that too. I mean, they got
Right.
flack. They got flack for Mulan. I haven't watched Mulan. No interest in it, but they got flack for it not having musical stuff in it. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah, now that the game's out, the consensus that I've seen is that some of the changes are good and some of the changes are kind of bad.
yeah.
So it's like mixed. People are
Right.
into some of the design changes, and then
No matter
some
what,
people
you
think
run that
that, like,
risk on either
yeah.
side.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Right.
people are still gonna watch these live action remakes of Disney cartoons because
That's-
again, it's
That's exactly the point.
yeah,
They don't
so
they don't care.
They don't care. Yeah, they don't care
Right.
to make it new or different.
Also, let me point out when I say like consensus, it's like the people have a consensus of like certain things everybody generally thinks were good changes.
Right.
And then the bad changes everybody thinks were bad changes. It's not as much of like some people think some changes are good and some people think those changes are bad. It's kind of more like universal. Or not universal, but like more skewed towards like, yeah, most of the community thinks that these changes are bad and these changes are good. Whereas I think with the Disney movies, I think there is a little bit more of a
It's a
back and
gray
forth
blur.
where
Yeah.
people think that these new live action Disney movies are actually really good.
Yeah, I think when you're watching something with your kid and your kid's entertained by it, you're gonna have a better positive view on it, even if you're not entertained. Just because it's like, oh, my kid was quiet the whole time and actually sat through the movie, like, and talking animals might do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm not gonna. I liked Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be horrible because these other ones were. I didn't watch the other ones. I'd like to give them a chance at one point, but I have to find one that gets me hyped enough about it for me to jump into the other ones that I've heard aren't that great.
We should
That-
have a live action
Exactly.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Just a
Oh,
fish
gee.
running around in a bowl.
Yeah.
It's like 30 seconds long, and that's the movie. It's Perfect
Um,
medium.
Looking at the director's John M. Chu's filmography.
Bless you.
Kind of yeah, thank you. It's actually like he has a dance background. He's a dancer.
Ooh,
He directed Step It Up 2.
that'd
Oh.
be interesting for this type
So
of
yeah,
movie
yeah.
with the Hawaiian dancing.
Also, he directed the
Or
Justin
luau
Bieber
dancing.
documentaries. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, and G.I. Joe Retaliation. So he has an interesting
Oh.
filmography going on here. So it's like I wonder what
He's
he
very
has to offer.
Really cool
for
dance
Lilo and Stitch.
numbers
He's-
would be really awesome.
He's very
for this.
versatile.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think
That
they
is
should go
interesting.
full on into the like ebb and flow feel of a Hawaiian based movie. Like it's supposed to have those like really chill vibes. Like obviously it's
Yeah.
gonna have some action as Lilo and Stitch, but they should definitely capture the aloha.
Yeah, like he
mentality.
has an eye for like dance and feeling that stuff. So
Mhm.
if they can like get all
It'd be
that
cool
kind
to
of
capture
Hawaiian cultural
culture.
dances,
Yeah.
that would be really cool, and I would love to see them do that for a Disney movie.
Especially
Yeah.
multiple of them, because like you saw one iteration of it, but like when you go to a luau in Hawaii and they teach you the different tribes or the different cultures that are there and the different dance
Yeah.
styles that they have, it would be really cool to see more of that and
Yeah.
see like how those influence the people on the island. I think this is a good
Yeah.
opportunity to
Yeah.
do that because the cartoon
Well,
did a little bit, but not as much
yeah.
as it probably could have.
Well, hopefully, like Disney will allow him to kind of like show off what he's
not
good
pump
at.
the
too.
brakes on anything he tries
Yeah.
doing that's different. Well, that sounds cool.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
We'll
Yeah.
have to see. I wonder when we even see this with like the nature
Right.
It's gonna be
of
about
the world
at least
right now.
2
and-
years, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
film and stuff.
2022 maybe in the beginning.
Okay. Let's move on to our final thing quickly.
Oh wow.
Garrick, I hear you've
Yes.
been playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed.
Joey, you're incorrect. I've been playing
I
a
mean,
lot.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
I've been playing a lot.
He has. He hasn't talked to us. in
My
like 2 days.
apologies.
Yes, I disappeared for a few days. It's
did.
it's
He's in his cave.
it's so peaceful.
And people seem to be liking it. I saw an article earlier. It, at least box copies, outsold Call of Duty.
Wow,
Wow.
as
Black
it
Ops?
should have.
Yeah, I read this over
Wow.
on GameIndustry.biz.
Not a
That's
surprise.
Moderately impressive.
But yeah, so UK box charts, Assassin's Creed Valhalla beating Call of Duty.
People
But
would rather be Vikings
That's
than
physical copies, correct?
What?
Right, this is specifically. That's why NPDs aren't out yet, so we don't know like the full
I'll
numbers.
argue that there was a lot more pre-orders on Black Ops digitally because of the pre-order bonus for Warzone. And
I
Modern
think
Warfare.
the reason why is because it's been 2 years since Assassin's Creed. It's only been 1 year, and you still have Warzone for Call of Duty. So
Right.
I
I
think
just feel like the
people are
numbers are
still
going to be more
fatigued.
heavily skewed once the full results come out for downloads too.
I went back through a couple of years of NPDs just to take a look at it, right? Usually Call of Duty on top of the NPD, right? Unless there's some outlier, right? So like 2018, it got beat by Red Dead. It would get beat by Pokemon every year a Pokemon comes out, but
Yeah.
Pokemon splits its sales across multiple copies. So they kind of like screwed themselves over on their NPD placement, but it doesn't matter because they sell a bunch of games. Yeah, but generally speaking, for like a Call of Duty to be dethroned from the top spot, it needs to either have something that's like really good come out that tops it, or it has to be a really bad Call of Duty. Right? So like
But-
Infinite Warfare was not in number one
yes,
that month for NPDs. I don't remember.
Well,
what it
everyone
was,
knew
but-
that wasn't going to be. That was an Infinity Ward, right? Was that Sledgehammer?
No, that was Infinity Ward.
That was
That was the
Infinity Ward?
space one that everybody hated.
space.
Space.
But space is
with
cool.
wall running too.
Oh.
But anyway, that's a roundabout way
Anywho.
of getting to me asking Garrick, what do you
Oh.
think? Do you think that's a case of this Assassin's Creed being so good that it's dominating the market right now? People really
I
want to be a
believe-
Viking.
I believe everybody should be a Viking because I believe it is a great game. I think if I were to not say anything and have the proof of gameplay hours put into this game, it would compared to Origins and Odyssey, I think that says a lot because I got fatigued from Origins and Odyssey after like 10 hours of playing because it was not the Assassin's Creed I was familiar with.
Have you already
Yes,
hit a day?
I don't know, maybe. I've spent like that Sunday when I didn't show up or anything, I spent like a good 8 hours playing,
jeez.
so I don't doubt it
So-
already. It's been about a week.
Wow.
So let me ask you, what is this Assassin's Creed doing differently than Odyssey and Origins did? Why is this
great.
one hitting in a way that those other two didn't? What?
Great
Not
question,
being
Joey.
Odyssey.
Well, that's the thing. I was hyped up about Odyssey because I love the mythology and the lore associated with the Greeks, and even so, a little bit with Origins. But I think the biggest deterrent to me for both of those games was the gear score. It made me feel like I was playing a Division game, and I'm not there to grind out a weapon or anything. I'm there to play the story and explore the world that they have given me in the Assassin's Creed world and lore. So what I mean by no gear score, there's no longer a need to pick up the next weapon and have to worry that is it powerful enough to kill this person now. You keep the same weapons throughout now, and all you have to do is just upgrade them as you go. But the combat is unique in a sense that you can play your own playstyle. You can be a fast assassin with daggers. You can just hit them across the head with dual hammers and stuff, and it made it my own. And when I get bored, I can change it up essentially. So I think the combat and the assassinations is what really kept things moving for me, and it didn't slow things down as much as like Odyssey for me.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
I
it's
highly
interesting-
recommend.
It's interesting to see how, with kind of like the ousting of a bunch of the higher ups at Ubisoft, we're seeing that trend away from that like loot score in every single
Thank
one of
God.
their games kind of deal. Right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so
And-
a quick comparison, like remember I was raving about Ghost of Tsushima. I played a decent amount of hours, but at a certain point I started getting fatigued. It's great lore and all that, and it's a great like open world game, but it just felt lonely. But Assassin's Creed doesn't feel lonely. I guess it's because of the story and the characters in there, but also the fact that you have a crew with you most of the time. And like the city is like cities are bustling and the paths are bustling, and it's not like you're the lone ranger trying or lone samurai trying to save the whole country. So
Well, I
And
mean, I think
that's-
that's the point of that game, though. Like you're Ronin, whereas
yeah,
I think they took the one of the few good things from Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the fact that you had a crew, and they took
Yeah.
that element and incorporated it into a more interesting setting, and
Yeah.
built off of that. So at least they found something in Odyssey that was worth salvaging from that train wreck.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
they
just
had
the fact-
Cruise and Brotherhood, so it wasn't not a thing.
and
Oh, that's true, and Black
Yeah.
Flag. So I mean,
yeah, I think the
they
fact
used it
that
as
they
a
just
stepping
had
stone.
Yeah.
I think the fact that they just had 2 years, like the fact that they increased the cycle to every 2 years, gave them a chance to actually sit down and think about what can we
Was it
learn
every
from
year
the
before?
previous games. Yeah, it used to be.
It was wow.
I believe so.
So
I have to look because I'm not sure. about
Okay,
that.
well, while we're talking about that, go ahead
so
and look
they
that
were
up.
yearly, and then there was a long jump between whatever was before Origins.
Syndicate.
And then I want to say Odyssey came out a year after Origins again. So it was kind of like they like
See-
went off the yearly cycle, and then they like went right back to it, and everybody was like, "What are you guys doing?"
I think Joey, you hit the nail on the head there because right after they outed those people, like they were betting on the fact that the new format from Origin would make them a ton of money. But I think the people spoke and that's what caused the changes.
That's
I don't
crazy.
know.
They did release a shit ton, like right at the beginning, and they were releasing like
Yeah.
spin-offs every year too. With that, like they released 3 games in 2009.
Yeah, they're
Holy
milking that.
cow.
I mean, that's Ubisoft now. Just
Yeah,
milking
but to my
series.
point,
Yeah,
I think the fact that they went to a 2 year cycle gave them a chance to actually sit down and
Yeah.
help. That it only helped them to develop a decent game by learning from the older games and trying new innovating games and making a hybrid of what people would enjoy as far as being old school fans of Assassin's Creed, and then also bring in new potential fans who just like open worlds but like the idea of being stealth but also having decent combat and all that. And I think this one is a game that I would highly recommend that everyone should buy. And if you are a person that was let down by Origins and Odyssey, I
If it
think
hurt
this
you.
game is for you.
It hurt me so
did-
much,
yes.
PJ. It hurt.
if it hurt you,
Oh no.
come back. and
I'm
this
talking to
one
you,
will
John. I'm talking to you.
Heal your
God.
wounds.
I don't know. I'll let you finish the game first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I intend to. I think this game will keep me going until like Cyberpunk, because
Nice.
I
I'm
intend to
waiting
get
for Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can't let another Assassin's Creed hurt me. I need time. I need time to heal.
yeah.
I think we need to bring back Batman
John,
the Investigator.
John,
and-
I'm in
and
the
Pig
same book.
Robin And go
John, I'm in the same longboat as you. Okay.
How far did you get on the Odyssey?
I literally got, I think, 20 hours at most.
Oh,
John and I spent a good 8 hours before we actually got the stupid tutorial.
yeah.
like-
That's the
Yeah,
thing. It's like
because
the game
you-
didn't
you were
start,
trying to-
and I was like done with it.
Done.
You were
Holy
trying to
crap.
create
Mentally
content,
checked
but
out.
I already felt that vibe. Like I was just forcing myself in Odyssey because
Yeah.
I wanted to explore the world more, and like I said, the
Yeah.
Greek
You
mythology and
wanted
all
it to
that. But
work.
I
I
wanted.
wanted it to
Oh.
work, but it didn't.
Also, the
And
story.
I
I,
just,
mean,
like,
that's
I'm
what I'm
done.
worried about because I feel like it's going to be the same story because there's nothing really interesting at least
missed
in
track of
Odyssey.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you get the piece of Eden, whatever the sphere, but after that, I was like, I don't care. Like the conflict, there's no real
That's a
weight,
great
there's
point,
no real
John.
emotion in it. You know?
I never felt attached to any characters that Alexios or Cassandra ever ran into, and the fact that there was a sibling rivalry. It didn't
Yeah, I was like,
feel right.
okay. It's like I didn't know the sibling, and like,
I never cared. I
yeah,
was
I never
skipping
cared.
through all of the story already.
Yeah.
But with this game,
they learn how
Valhalla,
to actually tell a
I'm
story.
I'm actually paying attention, and like I'm
Oh.
letting people talk through everything, and because I'm actually attached to the
It wasn't them
characters.
learning to tell a story; it was them relearning to tell a story. I
Relearning,
think
yeah.
their initial
Yeah.
games were very compelling.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and then also not only that, this was a perfect game for me because I've been watching a lot of Viking movie or shows like The Last Kingdom on Netflix and Vikings on History Channel. That really primed me to get ready to explore more about what the Viking way was all about and stuff like that. So
Do you know the
I
Viking
think
way?
this was meant to
Oh,
happen.
y'all.
So
I highly
I'm gonna-
recommend.
I'm gonna
old.
quickly steal from Good Mythical Morning.
Go on.
Vaguely steal from.
Damn.
So anyone that's actually played the game can do this voting system. So it's going to be just Garrick. Do you give that a Fat Peeps thumb up or Fat Peeps thumb down? Then
I give it a Fat Peeps thumbs up.
Can we do like a middle, a Fat Peeps like sideways?
yeah, kind of
Okay.
like
No,
the-
it has to be like Steam, where either
Oh,
you
thumbs up
recommend
or
it or you
down.
don't recommend it.
Okay,
Well,
well,
the middle is going to
keep
be
it
based off
simple.
of multiple people playing it, so then you'll get
I
like
guess,
a
yeah.
split vote. So
But what if?
Yeah, because there's four.
it
what if
is
it's just a
recommended by the
meh,
one person
you
that played
know?
it out of us.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
times I'm mad to stuff. It's like it's not a thumbs
Yeah.
up. It's not a
Well,
thumbs up,
here's
it's
the deal, John.
meh.
I don't think I don't think you're convinced to buy it, but when it goes on sale, I highly recommend picking it up
Oh,
because I don't
yeah.
think you should sleep on this one. Like forget about Odyssey and what Origins and all that. If you ever played Origins,
But I don't care about the modern day story either in this new.
Yeah, so
That's
far I've only gotten forcibly taken out of the modern story for like 10 minutes, and then I went back in, and they haven't bothered me since.
that's
So-
like for the original Assassin's Creed. I was like excited for those moments, and then in Odyssey,
And the
I was
annoying
like,
thing,
oh, nothing happened. This is stupid. Get me back into the ancient times.
well, I don't think we got far enough, but
Yeah.
there are things that went over into this game from Odyssey. So I'm kind of like wondering what is going on because I don't know what happened in the
right.
previous
That's
game.
what I had the same.
But I
feeling
don't care. I
without
care
playing
about
Origins.
I care about the actual game itself, not the modern day part of it. So it wasn't a big deal. And there's a surprise too. It's not, you're not just playing the historical. You're also getting a little crazy up in there. If you catch my drift. A little mythical.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
we'll reevaluate score once more people have played it, i.e. probably
Yeah.
John and me watching. But recommend. Anything else, Joey?
No, I think that's going to do it for us here. But before we go, what's going on over on the Twitch?
Oh,
John?
Hot?
Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We're doing some Twitch stuff.
oh,
You know, 6:30 Pacific time. Join us, have fun, hang out. We play Minecraft on Mondays. Wednesdays are Wednesdays.
Pirates.
Pirates.
Arse.
Pirates.
Arg.
And Fridays we just do a little grab bag of stuff. Sometimes we do Phasmophobia, sometimes Among Us, or maybe a little both. I don't know. Who knows?
oh wow.
Come on and join us and find out.
No one knows.
No one knows.
Where can,
It's a
We'll
surprise.
never
where can
know.
people find that?
Oh, it's twitch.tv/Cameraman John. Don't spell it like that. Spell it like a cameraman John. No spaces.
Spell it right.
Spell it right.
And then YouTube. You're either here or if you're listening on anything else, I guess, other than YouTube, find us at YouTube, the Phat Peeps.
Wow.
You can just type it on and search. This week we had a Black Ops campaign with me and John. There will be a review coming out for Black Ops from me because I've actually been playing the multiplayer quite a bit. So keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, we're going to have Garrick's dub on Sunday. So,
Oh yeah.
and then
this
make sure
one,
you
this
guys
last
keep
one, this
Go ahead.
recent one was really fun because
It
we
was. I
did
enjoyed that one.
crossbows and riot shields. So please give it a watch and let us know what you think.
Give some love to that one. That was a fun win. And then make sure you guys keep an eye out for the end of this month. And beginning of, or actually throughout next month, we're going to be having some holiday specials for Christmas. So
Oh,
don't have any exact dates, but if you like Christmas and you like us, you might like the Christmas specials.
oh whoa.
So give us some love, like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you want to see. Because we'll definitely do some tailored content if anyone gives us good suggestions.
Smash that like button.
Smash!
Oh yeah.
Slam that subscribe button.
Oh yeah.
And don't forget to
Tickle
just
that bell.
beat the shit out of that
Oh
bell.
my god. Oh my god.
Oh, ding ding ding
Hit
ding
that
ding.
bell like it owes you money.
Oh
Ring, ring.
jeez. Oh,
Okay.
ding, 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 dong.
Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us here on the Phat Peeps podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening. If you've
Thank
listened
you,
to us
Joey.
this far into the podcast. And we'll catch you guys next week on another fun episode.
Ba, ba,
Bye,
ba, ba, ba,
peepees.
ba.
Bye.
Go
I need
for
a
it, Tim.
pee-pee.
Wait, what?
Hello?
Hello? Tim?
I'm confused.
What happened to Tim?